Adapt, change, evolve. March 14, 2014. Just about every dear soul lacks a certain amount of awareness at no fault of their own about who they are. And this lack of awareness is not about who you are on the outside, but who you are on the inside, at the core level where all your conditioning, ego and defenses are. Thankfully, each of you has the ability to adapt, to change, and to evolve, and that you are doing each day. You go through life playing a game with your true self, something like a hide and seek. Some days you find it, other days it seems elusive. Your own behaviors have become adapted for many reasons depending on what you have been exposed to from certain situations and experiences. Being adaptable is an important life skill. Your ability to survive and evolve depends on your ability to adapt to new situations and outcomes, to rise from your falls and to continue pushing ahead. If you look at businesses, if they aren't able to adapt to the economy and to the supply and demand of the customers, then they eventually go broke and close up shop. The same principle, dear ones, can be applied to your relationships. Even the simplest act of putting on warmer boots when the weather indicates a drop in temperature is your demonstration of being adaptable. As you can see, dear ones, being adaptable serves you in many good and positive ways. There is always a risk when you are bringing in new changes and adapting to new ways of being. What you risk, dear ones, is losing your relationship with who you truly are at the core level. We have witnessed how easy it is for you to compromise your most valued beliefs and desires just for attention from your peers, to fit in with a certain social group. The pressures you feel to be like other dear souls overwhelms you at times, and you choose to push away from your true self and adopt a different persona. When this occurs, what you are creating, dear ones, is an internal conflict between your true self and the new one you recently adopted. We know you have every intention to maintain your true self, your divine identity, but the influence met through other dear souls and of your environment makes this a great challenge that many dear souls at times seem to underestimate its drawing temptations. It is only natural, even under the best circumstances and with the best intentions, your need to fit in will override your values and ethics. Your actions then become a contradiction of what your values and ethics are, and on the inside there is an emotional upheaval going on, because by submitting to adapt just to fit in and to become like everyone else conflicts with your true self. In time you will find yourself fatigued from the pressures and you will need to resolve these inner conflicts. It is important, dear ones, to recognize when these internal struggles are occurring and to make steps to resolve them. If you remain being someone you are not for the sole purpose to fit in with a certain social or work group, then you risk losing touch with the part of you that has been uncomfortable with your decisions since the first time you chose to go against your values and ethics. If you remain in the environment that has encouraged you to adapt in ways that don't fit who you truly are, then you may feel compelled to bury your values just to try to stop your uneasiness and discomfort. But burying your internal conflicts doesn't resolve them. All burying does is put the awareness of the discomfort out of reach, but instead of being surrounded by peace and harmony, you are greeted by hurtful disharmony. Inside you, what was buried will become like a virus or disease, and will in subtle tones begin to create problems on an emotional level that will eventually find their way back to the surface. There are many dear souls that purposely sabotage their own success. This could occur in any area of their lives, in their work, relationships, even with their health. Just as soon as things start to look good and promising, then it looks as if the wind has left their sails. Sometimes, what is happening here, dear ones, is a buried internal conflict is trying to surface in order to be dealt with. And the dear soul that is having intermittent successful wins occurring in their life often feel they don't deserve happiness, that they don't deserve to be successful, etc. The disharmony that fills their life gravely affects their self-esteem even though they may not be aware of this phenomenon. Each of you deserves to be happy and deserves to be successful. Allow your sails to be open to catch the wind that will direct you to more success and to more experiences that are rich with joy and happiness. Suffering from internal conflicts can take away your joy and make it difficult to find joy in the simplest of places. Moodiness often occurs and sometimes deep sadness. Your energy may feel non-existent, and it is necessary, dear ones, to understand that it takes energy to fight your emotional conflicts that have become deeply ingrained into your total self, causing heavy discord in your life. Because you are capable to adapt, this also means any conflicts you have with your inner self can also be changed. We understand you have needs for security, approval of others, and to have a certain amount of control in your life, but it is just as important to remember who you are, and that the values that you had yesterday can easily change by tomorrow. Part of your growth and development comes from your ability to adapt, to bring in changes, even if some of those changes were not for the greater good. You still learned, and from the knowledge that you gained, you are able to make better choices next time. You have become wiser. We know it will be a challenge to be in harmony with your true self when there are so many external pressures and temptations knocking at your door. You have many choices to make, and each one helps you to adapt. You will bring in change, but it is up to you to learn to avoid the traps of internal conflicts by being more self-aware and understanding yourself from the very core of your being. Take the time, dear ones, to rediscover your true self. Get in touch with your deepest values, beliefs and desires. By doing so, you are able to bring peace and harmony into your inner self, and then bring this calming energy to your external self. It is important, dear ones, to teach yourself to rise above the tempting traps of your environment and lifestyle choices. Figure out who you are, and learn what it is you want from life, where you want this path and journey to take you, and commit yourself to what you have concluded. Remember, any kind of attempt to create a meaningful life path must also include knowledge of your true self. To forge ahead without it would inadvertently compromise your own values and dreams that give you your unique personal distinctiveness. Deep inside, you don't want to be like everyone else, and we encourage you to be you. For you are beautiful and special just as you are. It takes great courage to remain true to yourself and not to be drawn into certain social groups, and even greater strength to not change your ways in order to be pleasing to others. Your life will never be dull, even if at times it appears so. There is always something to learn, and something to do. You have much to become. And so it is. I am Ascended Master, Serapis Bey, through Julie Miller. spiritualnetworks.com